just like doing them.
Welcome to Journey to Joy Live, a podcast to promote wellness, resilience, and inspire joy. Be empowered to balance your mental, physical, financial, aspirational, and social health while providing mental health awareness and breaking down the stigma of mental illness in the Black community. I'm your host, Dr. Int Joy, and I'm here to help you transform life's challenges into opportunities for joy. Let's begin the journey together. Hello. We are in episode 78, Unwrapping Self-Care, Gifts to Yourself this season. And I'm really excited to have a nice, special guest, my line sister, Anjanette Davenport-Hatter. She is a certified self-care coach. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good. And I'm so thrilled, not just to see you, but to be in this space. So thank you so much for this invitation. I'm so honored.
Awesome. Well, I am so glad to have you. You aren't just my line sister and a wonderful member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Tell us more of who you are.
Okay, so, my name is AJ. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I help people who are managing stress, anxiety, depression, find peace, hope, and joy. And I do that by providing psychotherapy, therapy, coaching, and I have it's an online learning platform called Harambe Care, and it's dedicated to emotional wellness. So I'm really excited to be able to support people in that area through that online platform. And I'm also a wife of 15 years. And a mom of 2 adorable teens.
Yes, you are. And that is fabulous. So you are a wife mom boss.
I am.
That's who I'm going to start talking to in 2025. I think most of my listeners are wife mom bosses. So, and that's what I am. And it's hard out here on these streets for the wife mom bosses. And it's hard out here for us to get our own self-care and to do what we need to do, or our sister time, or our therapy. So that's why we're talking about self-care here, because we need to give ourselves the gift of self-care, because a lot of times we don't focus on ourselves because we are everything to everyone. So we're going to just sit here and talk about this. But first up, the reason why you are here in the first place is because you're also joining me on tomorrow in the event that I'm having, the Detroit Wellness event. It's called Enjoy Holiday Delights. And the reason why it's called Enjoy Holiday Delights, because also my brother-in-law, who is the graphic designer for the Enjoynos, he's Starvin' Marvin, and he's having his dump cakes, and he is the owner of Dump Cake Delights. And so you will be there doing the self-care coaching.
Yes. And I'm so excited for that. I've told everybody I know. So I hope it is well attended. But yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Awesome. Just put the address up there real quick. So that's where we're going to be tomorrow, December 27th, from 4 to 7 p.m. It's an in and out. Just come stroll in there, get your Enjoyno, get it signed, get some tips from Dr. Evans for physical health, some tips from Gail Perry Mason for financial health. And then Anjanette, AJ is going to have this nice Zen room for self-care, and then stroll into the kitchen for some dump cakes. So we're really excited about that. So let's get into all this self-care.
Let's do it.
It's been nice. So this week, I mean, it's Christmas. We had Christmas yesterday. Did you get in any self-care this week?
Of course. I did.
And what does self-care look like for you? I'm going off script. See, AJ wanted me to have all these nice questions. I got the nice questions. And I promised her I would not go off script, but I literally went off script.
And you are. And you are.
I asked you, what do you do for your self-care? Is that okay? What do you do for your self-care?
This is the Enjoy show. So I'm just a guest.
All right. So what do you do for self-care?
I do a lot.
What did you do this week?
So this week, I lowered the pressure.
Oh.
And so I did. So my children, like I said, they're teenagers. And so, I'm like, oh my God, I have to wrap all of these gifts. And, I'm like, how am I going to get these gifts wrapped? And so what I did was I just and then we were looking to decorate the tree. And they're older. And so they can help do these things. And so I said, well, I'm going to lower the pressure I'm
Mhm.
going to modify some of our traditions. And we didn't have a fully decorated tree. And you know what? That was
Oh,
okay. That was
yeah.
okay. That was okay.
You lowered the
I didn't
pressure.
allow myself to be pressured by these traditions that
Mhm.
are overwhelming.
Mhm. That's
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah, yeah. And so when you lower the pressure, you take the pressure off yourself and you do what your spirit moves you to do, and reminding yourself that it's okay because it is. The tree is up, there's lights, you
Mhm.
but all of the ornaments and all of the hoopla that comes along with that, I
Mhm.
think then it just won't be done. And we're all okay with that. And so we still had an amazing, Christmas, in terms of wrapping the gifts and being up all night long,
Mhm.
lower the pressure. I had my husband lug the gifts upstairs to the bedroom. He
Mhm.
put on some old school, Christmas movies and had the table set up for me. And
Mhm.
as we watched holiday movies rather than being crammed up in a locked room, hiding from the kids, wrapping gifts for, 19 and 14-year-olds.
That is so dope because, like, I usually decorate everything in the house, including the banister. I put the garland
Uh-huh.
around the banister, the lights, the what do you call them thing, the ornaments and all that stuff. I didn't do that. I said, you know what, we gonna be in Detroit, so why do all of that? And we
Yeah.
put up the trees. We don't care about organization. We just kind of throw the ornaments up. But I said,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna do all this just to come back home and have to clean it back up. But I do love the decorations and things like that. So we put
Hmm.
enough to be sure that we enjoy that holiday spirit before coming here. And even when we got here to Detroit, my husband and I made sure we got in our self-care and running. I usually don't get a chance to work out on vacation, but now that it's like, well, I say now, but it's always been therapy for me to run,
Yeah.
medication for me to run.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
seems
And it
like
is.
these days is so much more important. So we've got in our run every at least once a day this week. So we were really excited
Awesome.
about that. But as we
Awesome.
get into that, because we need to prioritize it, right? But a lot of
Hmm.
times we feel guilty about prioritizing
Hmm.
our self care. So,
Hmm.
why do many of us feel guilty prioritizing self care, especially during the holiday season? How do you think we can change that narrative?
Well, so I'm going to blame it on society, because society has taught us that in order to be a good human, is
Mm
that you prioritize others.
hmm.
Okay. Not only are you prioritizing others, but it also teaches us to be givers and
Ah,
not receivers, to be
yeah.
selfless and not selfish.
Mm
Okay. And so my advice to that is that whole unlearning. When I'm with my clients and they come to me with this guilt,
hmm. Mm hmm.
it's a mindset shift and
Yeah.
having to unlearn all that society has taught us on what is required to be a good human, to be a good mother, to be a
Mm
good wife, to
hmm.
be a
Mm
good person. And so, but how can we have the capacity to give to others when we're running on empty, when our own cups, are empty? You can't. The cliche, you can't pour from an empty cup.
hmm.
You
Yep.
can't.
Mm
You
hmm.
can't do it. And
Mm hmm.
so what I like to tell people is just kind of, be in that mindset shift and allow yourself a different perspective, because
Yeah.
in order for you to give to others, you have to first give to yourself.
Exactly. And really what that boils down to is that self-care is not selfish because like you said,
It's
when
not.
society makes us feel guilty about giving into others, we should give to others. We should give back. We should do all those things. But like you said, we have to pour into our cup first. And I tell people, you have to give from an overflowing cup. So your cup needs to be
Mm,
full
love
first and
that.
then what's dripping
Mhm.
over the side, that's what you give, not out of an
Yeah,
empty cup.
I like
So
that.
it's not selfish. In
No.
fact, it's selfish to not take care of yourself because if you don't take care of yourself and you're not good enough to be there for others, then now
Hmm.
you're selfish because you're not there to be there for others, if you can think of it that way.
Basically. Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So good, good. That's a good one. What do you think the most underrated gift is that we can actually give ourselves that doesn't cost anything, but has a
Mm,
huge impact on our mental health?
mm, mm. It's going to sound easy, but it's not. And so my answer to that is rest. Rest. And I
Hmm.
think that, one thing my therapist taught me many years ago was to reevaluate my relationship with rest.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I'm speaking to people in whatever capacity that is, I don't recommend anything that I haven't already done or tried for myself.
Yeah.
And so when you reevaluate your relationship with rest, you then can understand how powerful rest is
Mm-hmm.
and how your body needs rest to recover, to
Yeah.
recharge,
To
you know,
rejuvenate.
to be sure that you're less susceptible to illness. Because when you're,
Yeah.
when you are ill, so you know how people say, you drink some burners. If you're from Michigan, you drink burners.
Burners, right.
You put on some good shows and you rest. There's
Mm-hmm.
a reason for that. Rest is vital. Rest is essential. Rest is needed, for your overall, physical and emotional wellness. And so I think that what is that?
She's recommending Rest is Resistance by
It
Trisha Hersey.
is.
Thank
Yeah, yeah,
you.
absolutely. It is. And I think that, when we start reevaluating our individual relationship with
Mm-hmm.
rest, I think that people that light bulb and that they'll have that aha moment and realize that, how was I even operating, without rest? And so I think that is underrated. And I think that we really should be looking at that.
It's definitely underrated, especially for adults. And to be honest, when you think of a child who's crying, whether they're a baby and can't talk or a toddler and they just are crying, and one of the things you think about when you're trying to figure out what's going on is, oh, they must be tired. And when I get tired, I notice I become that. Like I
Yes.
start getting tearful, things get
Yes.
to me more easily. My threshold for stress is lowered, so I'm more stressed out
Absolutely.
easily. And I'm just like, why am I so sensitive? Oh, I need to sleep. Heck, that was me on Monday because we had a very busy travel day. We got up at 3:30 a.m. to make it to the airport. And by the end of that day, I was just like, okay, I need sleep. So that to me is a sign that I definitely need sleep because I constantly battle, do I need to run or do I need sleep? Because I feel like I need both, right? So some people, that's easy for them. Oh no, I'm gonna sleep. What you talking about? I'm gonna work out. I need my sleep. But for me, I know how important running is for me. I could have a headache, I could be very tired, but then running just gets me back.
Uh-huh.
But when I'm at the point where I'm about to cry and think life is just over, I'm like, oh, I need
You
sleep.
need a nap. You need a nap. That's all it is.
Exactly. Well, that's a great underrated one. I think
Mhm.
that is because I was thinking running, but I mean, I'm biased, but I don't think running's underrated.
Well,
So,
running, Dr. Andrew, running, releases those endorphins,
mhm.
all that feel good, those chemicals, those hormones that help boost. And so you're onto something. But you know
Yeah.
that. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're onto something.
Yes. So earlier I was talking about the wife mom bosses. We busy. Like I said, we trying to be everything to everyone for some reason. I guess that's that narrative. That's that social standard for us. But how
Of
can we
course.
busy women, especially the moms and the wives, how can we carve out the time for self-care without feeling like we're neglecting others? We talked about the guilt, but then this is extra level of actually feeling like we're neglecting others, especially
Mhm.
since we are wives and moms.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so this is for the wives, the moms, and just anybody who's busy, And what I like to tell, well, first of all, I do a lot of decolonizing of
Mhm.
emotional wellness. And so I love self
Okay.
care. I love
Yes,
the word self care. I
what you
do.
do.
And so, but some people that doesn't resonate with them. And
Right.
so when I'm thinking about my audience, when I'm thinking about how do I tap into, folks who need to hear this, I say,
Mhm.
well, you insert whatever word resonates most with you, whether it's
Mhm.
self
Mhm.
restoration,
Mm.
healing, that restorative
Mm.
care, self care. All of them they're the same thing, but you choose what works best with you. And
Mhm.
so when we're looking at restorative care, if you have a surgery, the doctor, the surgeon will send you home with some instructions, elevate, ice, take some medication, and you incorporate it into your day. And so when we're
Mhm.
looking at self restoration, we're looking at self care, when we're looking at healing, self healing, you're incorporating into your day, into your daily
Yeah,
routine. And
yeah.
so when people are looking at their budget, their time budget for the day, I'm like,
Mm.
you have to get up and brush your teeth.
It's a
You're,
part of
you're
it.
already brushing your teeth for
Mhm.
your physical, your hygiene. And so when we're looking at self care, I call it self care hygiene. Okay. And so while you're
Love
brushing your
it.
teeth, which you're already going to be doing, then how about, recite a couple of positive affirmations? Okay.
Yes.
While
Yes.
you're folding clothes, while you're doing laundry, why not have some mindful moments?
Yes.
While you're meal prepping,
Mm-hmm.
why not take this opportunity to, savor the aroma of the onions,
Yeah.
the
Oh.
sound of the chop, 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 you know,
The
the,
senses, using your senses and
the
grounding.
sensory overload of stirring the pot. And so,
Mm-hmm.
whenever you're able to activate your senses, all five is amazing, but as many senses you can activate throughout your
Yeah.
day, why not? You're already cooking, you're already eating, you're already doing some hygiene. And so, I say that for the busy folk out there,
Mm.
look at incorporating these self care strategies into your day.
Into
You're
what you already
already
do.
going about your day.
Ah.
Absolutely.
I love that. When I used to teach time management back in the day, one of the tips for time management is using chunks of little time. So, like the 2 minutes here or the 2 minutes there, or you're waiting at the doctor's visit in the
Mhm.
waiting room,
Mhm.
time
Mhm.
managing, right? So, that's what that
Mhm.
reminds me of, where if you have little chunks of time, or even while you're doing something, while you're chopping the onions, doing a meditation or listening to some spa music or incorporating your senses, like
Mhm.
you said. So that's a really good way to carve out time.
Mhm.
In fact, you're not really carving it out. You're just like putting it onto something else. So that's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? And so when you're looking at not neglecting other folks that you're caring for,
Hmm.
incorporate them as well.
Yeah.
There were times where when my children were younger, I've been doing this for long, this self care for many years. We would get in the bed, all of us, and I
Uh-huh.
would get Q-tips and put essential oils on them, and
Mm.
we would just breathe. We just have quiet time and breathe.
Nice.
Inhaling, the
You're
scents,
teaching them how to do it. They need it
of
too.
course. And then when I see my children deep breathing in difficult, situations,
Hmm.
I just smile. Downtime at night, my husband and I, my husband doesn't want to be social worked, but he'll talk to
Oh.
Alexa all night. And so he'll Alexa play some meditation music, Alexa play ocean sounds. And so Alexa will go, okay, ocean sounds. And then I will follow his lead,
Oh,
and
that's
we would
nice.
just deep breathe. Yeah, we would deep breathe
Hmm.
in bed as we come down off the day. And so
That's
incorporate them
good.
into your routine. You're always spending time with your family, so you're not neglecting them, and you're role modeling, emotionally healthy behavior.
Yeah, doing it with them, you don't feel like you're neglecting, and, of
Mhm.
course, when they're asleep, if you wake up early enough, you can do your thing by yourself if you need to, or if
Absolutely.
they sleep and you stay up a little bit later, you can do your thing if you
Uh-huh.
need that alone time.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, using them and you don't feel that guilt, but also there's no reason to feel guilt, but we know we all get the guilt anyway.
Of course. Of course.
Yes. So, getting back to what you do, is there at least one self-care practice that you do that could instantly shift your mood or mindset,
Mm.
even on your busiest days? Like something simple that you might do?
So yeah, and I really consider this to be a life, saving, strategy as
Mhm.
well. And it's
Mhm.
deep breathing. Because when you think about it, when
Simple
you
and
are stressed,
underrated.
okay, absolutely. When you're stressed and overwhelmed,
Mhm.
your body goes into fight or flight,
Mhm.
which is your sympathetic nervous system.
Yep.
And so those, stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline is doing its thing, is
Mhm.
preparing your body, for surviving this crisis. And so you're looking at elevated blood pressure because it's, your body, your blood vessels are constricting because your heart is pumping faster to prepare for this crisis. When you have the glucose that's being pulled from your liver to your muscles to give your
Yeah.
muscles that energy,
Mhm.
for fight or flight, and when, reserves are being pulled from your gut,
Mhm.
it's, increasing the likelihood of irritable bowel syndrome,
Mm.
inflammatory bowel disorder, just over time, this is, leading to chronic health issues. And so when
Wow.
you want to, dip into the opposite, which is the
Mhm.
parasympathetic nervous system, where it's, relaxation, rest, and digest, that's when
Yep.
your body is healing and recovering. Deep breathing. And so when you are intentionally breathing, not to stay alive, but when that intentional
Yeah.
breath, when it's coming
Right.
from, that diaphragm below the belly button, and you're bringing that exhale, and you're, inhaling and exhaling, and you're getting oxygen to your brain, that's when we're looking at, being able to relax, because then it's out of your hands. It becomes physiological. And so the more opportunities your body is in rest,
Mm-hmm.
the more you're able to recover and be in a space to be of full capacity. And so deep breathing, when done intentionally, it's very quick. You do a couple of rounds, 3, 4 rounds, you are noticing a difference throughout the day, not just when you're in crisis, but practice
Exactly.
makes perfect. And so when you're deep breathing intentionally throughout the day, on your busiest days,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think that it's a good, very quick mindset shift, because you're going to notice
Yep.
the effects very quickly. And so
That is
anytime you're
so
noticing,
true.
the positive effects, like, oh, I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna keep doing this because it works.
That's a real good level of detail because that really shows right there how our stress is related to our medical health. And like you
Absolutely.
said, can make things worse,
Absolutely.
hypertension, heck,
Uh-huh.
diabetes, autoimmune stuff.
Absolutely.
So that's some real good stuff. And that's true. An instant way to get from stress to joy or to calm, at least, it's just simply deep breathing, breathing in for 4 to 6 seconds, holding it for a few seconds, and then breathing out. There's different ways. There's square breathing. There's so many different kinds. So you can look that up on YouTube. And even for kids, there's like fun ways to learn how to do that. I love the breathing one for sure. When
And
I'm
when you
thinking, go ahead.
I'm going to say real quickly is that I recommend folks to, if they're doing YouTube, I
Mhm.
send them the Lil Jon, the rapper, Lil Jon, and
Yeah.
they're like Lil Jon. I'm like, yeah, Lil Jon. He
Yes,
has
one
his
too.
total meditation
Because Snoop
series
Dogg
on
does too.
YouTube. Does
Oh no,
he?
Snoop Dogg has a positive affirmation.
Okay, well, Lil Jon has is guided meditations. There's about 10 of them, 10 or 12, and they're 10 minutes each. And there's one dedicated to deep breathing.
I
And
gotta
it's,
see this because I'm
you
just
have
thinking that'll
to.
make my blood pressure go up. He'll be like, rest. All right,
No,
breathe. So he's not
this is
talking
the
like
other
that.
side. No,
Okay.
no. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. It is so chill. You should really,
Oh, I
you're gonna
gotta look
love
at
it,
that.
Dr. Enjoy. You're
Because at
gonna
least
love it,
Snoop
and you're
Dogg's
gonna
voice
prefer
is
it.
calm. I'm like, I can listen to Snoop on meditation all day.
Yeah, this is going to be your next go-to. This is going to be
Okay,
your new
Lil Jon.
go-to. Yeah,
Duly
there's
noted.
positive, there's deep breathing, there's rest, there's one for sleep. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I love that he did that, because everyone can relate to it, and they're so shocked that they have to hurry up and go look it up. And I'm like,
I
wow,
need to look it up.
it's homework. It's literally homework for my
All
clients.
right, everybody watching, go get you some Lil Jon for sure. Let's see what Jessica
Yes,
said. Oh yeah, so
I
she
love
gonna
it,
go. She
baby.
hitting there too, right,
Yes,
Jessica? Because I was gonna
absolutely.
say I listened to Hans Zimmer. Everybody who in my close circle, they know I will put on some Hans Zimmer or any type of movie score that's close to him, and it just instantly puts me at rest. So when you're thinking about instant, there's that. But I mean, if give me 5 minutes, I know that's not instant, but a quick run, going back to running, I can do it. I remember
Yeah.
one day, and my husband knows, like when he's all energetic, and I feel like I can't meet his energy, and I'm just like tired and stressed. And there was just one particular day I went out for a run, and literally like 3 minutes had passed of running, not even that. And I had texted him, "Hey, honey, I'm feeling better already." So that for me again can help.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna check out some Lil Jon for sure. So
Yes.
let's get
Total
back to the
meditation.
yes. Let's
Mhm.
get back to the holidays because it seemed like on the holidays, like you said, with that narrative, the social standards, we feel like we got to be giving and all that. So, since we focus on giving to others during the holidays, how can we normalize giving back to ourselves without
Mhm.
shame? Like,
Mhm.
how can we just
Mhm.
make that normal? Let's give back to yourself.
So one of the things is I call this the cousin of self care, and it's self compassion.
Mm,
And so
yeah.
Dr. Kristen Neff. She's like the guru of self-compassion.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's 3 tenets under self-compassion.
Nice.
There is self-kindness.
Mm-hmm.
There's self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. And
Common
so
humanity.
common humanity. And so really
Nice.
understanding that you are not alone. There are so many other people who are also struggling, during this season. You know,
Yeah. Even
there
more
are
during this season. They lost
even
somebody,
more.
reminded of a death. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so when you remove that isolation,
Mm-hmm.
any shame, that comes with that can kind of dissipate, because you know that there is a whole community of folk out here who are going through the exact same thing that you're going through. And so
Mm.
that's why I really like to really emphasize the common humanity piece. Okay.
Mm.
And so, the first one is self kindness. And that looks like, using a softer, kinder voice with yourself, rather than beating yourself up, because
Yeah,
sometimes, a
we're our
lot of
worst
times,
critic.
we are. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's really the catalyst for the shame, you
Yep.
know. So when we
Mm.
can really normalize being kind to ourselves, and just imagine if you had a friend, I know who your BFF is. So
You're watching right now.
I know. So Jessica was going through, a time of suffering and of shame. What would you say to Jessica? What would you do to Jessica to
Right.
help lessen that
I
suffering?
wouldn't
What?
blame her or
Okay.
criticize her or judge her.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So the exact same words of encouragement, the exact
Mm-hmm.
same, things you would do for her, you just flip it and do that for yourself. So that's where that self-kindness comes from, that self-compassion comes from. Because we are, remember the first question was, with society, we have been
Yep.
taught to give to others. Well, this is because we're so great at supporting and uplifting others. This is a good
We'll do it to
opportunity to
ourselves.
reverse that and give to
It's just
yourself.
so easy to say bad things to ourselves. It's almost like we deserve to talk down to ourselves. It's like,
Yeah,
why? Or maybe we think that's a motivation, like, oh, that was just so stupid. Why did I do that? Like, oh, I could do
right,
better. But the
right.
tone that we even give ourselves, even if it's the tone of your own thought, like
Yes,
say it kindly to yourself, like, oh, I can do
yes,
better.
I
Yeah.
can. I
Mm-hmm.
can. Mm-hmm. Hey.
We see ya. All
Uh-huh.
right. So last question, because I'm not gonna make up questions because we're sticking to the six. If you could design the ultimate self-care survival kit for the holidays, ooh, that we can come back to each holiday, what would be in it and why?
So you know what? I have one. I have a survival kit,
Hey,
in the form of the CARES model.
hey.
And so
Almost
with
like I
the
knew you were
CARES,
gonna say that.
I know. I know, right? And so thinking about the CARES model, the C is cultivate mindfulness. The
Mm.
A is address negative thoughts. The R is restore through self-compassion. The E is ease stress. And then the S is seek balance. And so
Ooh, I
when we're
love
looking at
it.
things, and you can think about a Christmas stocking, and how would you stuff this survival kit, this CARES model? You will stuff it, with acts of mindfulness. And so that's really just being present and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts that enter your mind,
Mm-hmm.
treat it as a snowflake. You wouldn't criticize a snowflake falling. You'll just watch it
I
hit
love
the
it.
ground.
Mm-hmm.
And so just have that present time with no judgment, and just being with yourself, being present and being fully present in the moment. Okay.
Yes.
And when we're looking at addressing negative thoughts, like you said, I don't deserve this. I'm so stupid for thinking this. I'm such a bad person. For not prioritizing my care. And so addressing those negative thoughts. How can
Mm-hmm.
you frame that? How can you flip that?
Reframe
You
it.
know,
Yeah.
you reframe it. I am an amazing woman. I'm a great mom. I am enough. I'm doing my
I
best
love.
with what I have, and I'm crushing it. You know,
Hey.
reframe it. when you're looking at restoring through self-compassion, we've talked about that,
Mm-hmm.
using a kinder inner voice. When we're
Mm-hmm.
looking at easing stress, lower the pressure, like with the Christmas tree and the gifts,
Yes.
lower that pressure. You don't have to have these moments of angst, because we know what happens to our bodies when we're in that moment and those stress hormones start doing its job. And then you at the urgent care with this, this chest pain or this
We don't need
headache.
that.
Exactly. And then, seeking balance, how can we level, our emotions this time, by kind of incorporating,
Mm-hmm.
self-care and, moments of joy, moments of peace, when we get it, and do it often.
Exactly.
Just put it in repeat. It's just
Do
it's
it
learning
often.
a new behavior.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we
learning a
need to.
new
We can't
behavior.
do one and done. Because a lot of my patients say, "Well, I've tried those things; it doesn't work." Like, well, how often do you practice it? It's like practicing or studying for a test. If you only do it the one time, you're going to fail that test. And if the test is a challenge in life, you're going to fail it. You're going to crash or whatever, get
Absolutely.
burnt out. So we need to do these things consistently, even when a challenge isn't there. So it's very
Absolutely.
important to keep up with. It takes
Yeah,
work. It's not gonna
it
just come
does.
on you. And so you have to work at all of these
Yeah,
strategies.
absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the cares model. That is awesome. Very organized. I love it, AJ. Thank you so much. And if you want to find AJ, she is at harambicare.org or on Instagram at harambicare. But you're not off the hook just yet, because I ask all my guests. This is Journey to Joy Live. So tell
Okay.
us quickly about your journey to joy.
Ooh, okay. You know, I know this is gonna sound so cliche,
It's all
but
right.
insert the hand emoji, the clapping. It's self-care, because self-care is transformative, And so my journey,
Mhm.
back in 2016, I experienced an emotional trauma, so emotionally traumatic that I was ended up becoming diagnosed with conversion disorder. And I think the new term
Mm.
is um,
Pseudo
neurologic disorder, something like that.
pseudo
But
seizure, depending. Yeah.
yeah, and so what that means is, I undergo paralysis and inability to walk and talk, and become
Mm.
unresponsive, when life gets too busy. And
Mhm.
so stress, overwhelm, pressure, exacerbates my symptoms, and then I just freeze. And so what I learned over the years is that through use of self-care, I
Yeah.
was able to get my life back. And so I am unapologetic about my
There it
self-care.
is.
And
Ooh.
so I set stern, firm boundaries.
Mhm.
I rest
Mhm.
unashamedly. And
No shame, no
I say
guilt. Love
no.
it. Mhm. You say no. No is a
I
full
say no with
sentence.
a period, not a semicolon, not a comma,
No,
but a
but.
period.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so that's where I was able to reclaim my joy. And now I'm able to live a joyous, life. And I'm so appreciative to be in this space, to talk about this transformative power of
Yay.
self-care. And it works when you work it.
Yeah, yeah, we have to do it for ourselves so we can be there for everybody else, because we everything to everyone, including our clients as well as our personal lives. Thank you so much, AJ, for coming on. I think you did a fantastic job. If you are in the Detroit area, please come out tomorrow to 2521 Trumbull in Detroit, because we are going to be sharing more tips like this. Very cool, calm, informal gathering. Come meet the experts, get your enjoyment, get it signed, and enjoy some dump cakes. Thank you so much. This has been an Enjoy Life production. If you're in a crisis, don't hesitate. Call, text, or chat 988 for immediate support. Please note, this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional treatment. If you're looking for therapy or medication management through Enjoy Life, visit www.drenjoylife.com to request a consultation. I accept Aetna for Georgia residents, and out-of-pocket services are available for others. I'm licensed in Georgia, Florida, Michigan, Tennessee, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Hampshire, Illinois, Virginia, and Minnesota. Be sure to grab your copy of the Enjoyno on Amazon for $39.08 to help you on your wellness journey. And remember, Journey to Joy Live is every Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, may you continue to transform challenges into joy.